Hey guys, it's Kelsey. Welcome back to my channel, The Lioness Within. Today I'm gonna do a winged eyeliner and vampy look. Today is Friday the 13th, so I figured I would do something a little more dark and, you know, vampy. And I'm also talking about the Black-Eyed Children, so if you are into that and you would like to see how I got my face to look like this, then go ahead and keep watching. Okay, Friday the 13th. Let's get into what I'm doing. So for foundation, I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation in 110 Porcelain. Okay, so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go in with my brush, or not my brush, my sponge. Not sure where I got it, who it's by. It's a sponge, that's all I know. So, for concealer, I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in okay, there it is. 834 Fair Beige. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going in with the Pixie translucent powder, and it just looks like this. I'm obsessed with it. So I'm just going to set the under eyes. And then the rest of my face. For eyeshadow today, I'm using the Jaclyn Hill palette, the original one, which you've seen a million times on here. I'm gonna go in with in Light, which is this one right here, and I'm going to set my eyelids with that. So, since it's Friday the 13th, I figured, let's talk about creepy stuff. So, one of the things that I am really interested in, and something that I've kind of looked into a bunch, and it's very interesting to me, for some weird reason. But stories of the Black-Eyed Children are kind of something that I'm like interested in because I don't really understand it, I guess. I'm going in with MFEO, whatever that means. So I'm going in with this one right here. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off. Oh my gosh. Okay. Welcome to Kelsey's channel where she's awkward. Okay, so I'm gonna put that into my crease. So yeah, the black-eyed children are kind of something that I'm like very interested in. I'm not exactly sure if I believe some of the things that I've read about them. Some people think that they're aliens, which I don't believe in aliens. Sorry if you do. I just don't. But what I think they are is I think they are demonic. Now, before I go into this, I am a Christian. I believe in God. I believe Jesus is God's son. I believe the only way to get to heaven is through Jesus Christ. Okay. So, the black-eyed children, I believe, are demonic. The reason why I'm going to talk about this is because I feel like people need to know what these are and not to trust them. So basically what the black-eyed children are is, I believe they're paranormal creatures, I guess. So basically they are children from the ages of about, what I've read is 6 to 16, basically. Most of the time they're okay. Most of the time they go in groups of 2. It's normally one boy and one girl. I'm gonna take Obsessed, which is this right here, and I'm going to put that on my eyelids. So basically, people who have had encounters with the black-eyed children, oh, this shade's really pretty. They normally go up to your car if you're sitting in it, or they come up to your house. Now, what their goal is for you to let them inside, whether it be your car or your house or something. They pretend that they're lost and they need to call their parents, or their parents are coming to pick them up, and they just need to use your house, car, whatever, as, you know, somewhere to stay until their parents get there. Now, there's not many stories of people actually letting them in, because you're not supposed to let them in, because that's just basically inviting them into your space, your home, like where you live, or your car or something. Okay, so there has been a few stories of, well, actually I could only find one. So I found one story of a couple who let them into their house. I don't know their names. I've read this story on multiple different websites. I'm going back in with the shade that I put in the crease, and I'm just going to kind of try and blend those two together. I'm not going for anything too much because I am doing a darker lip, so okay, so that's all I'm gonna do for the eyes right now. So now I'm gonna take the e.l.f. It's a blush and contour palette from e.l.f. It's called St. Luca. Okay, it's called St. Luca, and so I'm gonna use that contour shade or bronzer or whatever, I don't know. Okay, so this woman, I have notes on this, by the way. Okay, so they were sleeping and she heard pounding on the door, this couple. And so she went to look out the window. So they're from like a small town in Vermont, and their town was so safe and so like trustworthy that they don't lock their doors. Like nobody in their neighborhood locks their door. So she goes and she looks out the window and she sees that they're in the middle of a snowstorm. And so she's kind of confused about who would be out the door, because if they get knocks on their door in the middle of the night, it's normally somebody who was in a car accident or something like that, or they got stuck, and so like people will knock on her door, you know, be like, hey, like I wrecked my car, I need, you know, somewhere to be until I can get this fixed. But the thing is, like, there was no car in front of the house and there were footprints in the snow, so she couldn't see the door or like who was at the door by the window. So she got an uneasy feeling and she woke her husband up. So he opens the door and it's these two kids, a boy and a girl, and they look about 8 years old. So she immediately gets like a weird feeling. And so they weren't like dressed how, you know, that would be appropriate for it being the middle of winter for these kids. And so she said that like the girl had long straight hair and the boy had like an undated like bowl cut. And she thought it was odd, and then she kind of felt like maybe it was a Mennonite family, like children, but they didn't really have like a Mennonite family, like close enough. So she said that they were kind of like odd and she got like a weird feeling about it. And she said normally if she sees children at her door, her first instinct is to bring them inside and make them hot chocolate and all this other stuff. But she got like a weird feeling by these kids. So the husband asked where their parents were, and they said they're on their way. We just need you to let us in. So they let the kids in and regretted it. So she said that like their voices were like odd. Like she described it as like a sing-songy voice, and she thought it was very odd. So her husband took them inside and like sat them down on the couch and was like talking with them while she went into the kitchen to make them hot chocolate. So I'm going in with a e.l.f. blush. It's called Mellow Mauve. And it looks like this. So she's making them hot chocolate, and she discovers that all of her cats, except for one, were hiding, which is odd for her cats because they always enjoyed meeting new people and chilling with the guests and all this other stuff. So she thought that was odd. They had 4 cats and 3 were hiding and 1 was in the kitchen with her. She went to pet the cat to like see if it was okay, and he like hissed at her, which she said was odd. So when she goes back in to give them their hot chocolate, her husband has his hands, like his head in his hands, and they ask to use the bathroom, and they get up and they go. So like she was like, yeah, like there's the bathroom, you could go in there. So they both went in at the same time, and so she asked her husband like, are you okay? And he as she was like handing them the hot chocolate, they looked up, she saw their eyes were all black. Like all black. Deep black eyes. So that like threw her off, and that's when they asked to use the bathroom because, you know, she found out that they're not normal. Okay, so I'm going in with the BH Cosmetics Duo Highlight. It's a 9 shadow palette, and I'm gonna go in with Top Secret, which is right here. So she goes to her husband and she's like, did you see their eyes? And he was like, yeah, but I think they were in a car wreck because that's how my brother's eyes looked when he was in a car accident. And so that's what they thought happened, but it was still odd that these kids, like, it was just odd how they were acting. So she says something about, you know, how odd the eyes were. And the husband said that he was dizzy, and then his nose started bleeding, which he has not had any signs of like nosebleed before, like the whole time that they were married. He's never had a nosebleed. It was just like an odd thing for him to just start bleeding from his nose. So after that, the power cuts off. So now it's completely dark, and they're kind of panicking. So then she sees that the kids are standing in the hallway, just standing there, all creepy. And then they go, our parents are here. And so they leave. So she goes to the window, or no, they both go to the door, and there are 2 men in black suits. They're very tall. They're like 6 feet, like 6 foot tall, and they're standing in front of a black vehicle. So the husband waves, and all the men do is just look at them, and they don't react, they don't wave back, whatever. So continuing this fun adventure, about a half hour later the power comes back on, which is good. the next few weeks, her husband keeps getting these nosebleeds, and he's getting dizzy, and it's getting worse. I'm gonna go back in with that shade that I put in the crease. It was like that MFEO. I don't know what that means. She said that, you know, a couple weeks go by and they can't find 3 of their cats. And one day they come home to see the cat that was in the kitchen with her when the kids were there. They found, and this is kind of gross and has to do with blood, so just a little warning. She finds the cat in its own blood, like a puddle of its own blood, in the kitchen. So they took the cat to the vet, which the cat died, unfortunately, and the vet says that the cat was throwing up blood when it died. So then her husband gets more sick, and he keeps having nosebleeds and all of this other stuff, so he goes to the doctor. I'm going to do some winged eyeliner with the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. It's the black. Yeah, black. So he goes to the doctor and he finds out that he has skin cancer. But this is really weird because it's the kind of skin cancer that you get from tanning beds. And so when the doctor asked, they thought he was joking. And they were like, no, we don't tan in tanning beds. And so, turns out he has skin cancer. Okay, that's really annoying. I can fix that with concealer. I'll do that. I'll let it dry and then I'll fix it. I fixed my eyeliner and this is as good as it's gonna get. But like I was saying, she believes that this encounter is making them sick, and she's telling everybody not to let them in. Another one that I read that I found kind of interesting was a story, and all I know is the guy's name is Jake. So I'm going in with the Milani Stay Put Brow Sculpting Mechanical Pencil in 05 Espresso. And I'm just going to remove my eyebrows real quick. So Jake heard about the black-eyed children and, like a lot of people, was curious. He stupidly went on to Craigslist and posted any black-eyed kids, you know, I'm gonna be at this park bench Wednesday at 9 p.m. Why? I don't know. So every Wednesday for, I think he said like a month or so, he went to this park bench and nobody showed up. So after, you know, nothing happening, he was like, okay, whatever. So he didn't go the one Wednesday. So that Wednesday at 9 p.m., he got a knock on his door. And he answered it, and it was a boy. I forget if he said around the age of what the boy looked like. But he knew immediately that it was a black-eyed kid because he looked up at him and he said, we missed you this Wednesday. That freaked Jake out. And he took his, you know, he shut the door. And he went, like, leaned up against the wall and just slid down and sat there for an hour and stared at his front door. Now, that scared him so much that he took down the Craigslist. He took down the Craigslist post, and he now goes 3 blocks out of his way just so he doesn't have to go past that park bench. And people think he's ridiculous for doing so, but honestly, I don't blame him because that would be me. I would not want to. So I'm going in with the Maybelline Master Fix by Face Studio. It's a wear boosting setting spray. I'm going to set my face with that real quick. There has been other stories of people sitting in their car. I'm going in with my usual mascaras. It's the Essence / Princess and the Kitty Cat Eye. Now, there are stories of people who have had them come up to their car, come up to their house. They have been caught on camera, and a lot of people tell them no, and they get more and more angry when you tell them no. When you like look into their eyes, you want to let them in. So a lot of people post about their stories and about how they came to their door. They were very persistent on letting them in, like, our parents are coming, we need to like use your phone, stuff like that. But for obvious reasons, people are telling them no. And there aren't really like many stories of people who actually let them in. That older lady, the older couple, are the only story that I've read that the person let them in. A lot of people say that if you let them in, you will die. A lot of people are saying that the reason why they ask for permission is because they can't enter your house unless you invite them in. Sounds demonic to me. But yeah. So that's pretty much all I know about the black-eyed children. I wouldn't let them in if I were you. But yeah, it's just something interesting, and I like reading stories about it and seeing what people are saying, if they have let them in or not. I'm sure you've seen 1.5 million videos on them by now. But yeah. I'm going in with the L'Oreal Color Rich lip liner in Toffee, and I'm going to line my lips with that. Okay, so I've been really into urban legends and like true crime and stuff like that. So I was thinking I can start doing like a series where I do makeup and I talk about urban legends or true crime or something like that. So if this does well and if it gets a lot of likes, then yeah, I will do more like this. So if you're into this, make sure you like it and I will do more. Okay, so I used the L'Oreal Infallible Paints, and it's the mattes, and this is 350 Cinnabon Cinnabon, I think. My eyes are bad, I can't see. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you like this kind of video, you know, talking about paranormal or urban legends type. I really enjoy urban legends. I think they're awesome. I think they're very interesting, and I like to see, you know, like where it comes from and like why it comes up. So if you like this type of video, then go ahead and give me a thumbs up and comment down below something that you want me to talk about, or you know, something like that. I like true crime stuff, you know, like the murder, homicide, all of that, like really odd things, I guess. But if you like this type of video, please let me know so I can keep making them, because I'm really into doing this. If you have an urban legend from around where you are, then let me know and I will look into it and then I can talk about it. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to join the Pride and subscribe, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified that every time that I post a video, so you will know every time that I post, go ahead and turn that notification bell on and you will get notifications. I thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun during this one talking about paranormal things and the black-eyed children. So if, you know, you enjoy this, then I will see you in my next video. Bye!